Live from Los Angeles, California, your host, Christina Fulton. Presented by Launch TV. As we say, if you're not the sun, maybe you're a star. Welcome to The Shine Show.
Welcome to Shine here at Launch TV every Friday. I'm your host, Christina Fulton, and I will be interviewing the most incredible people in the world that are changing the world today. We're going to have CEOs, entrepreneurs, influencers, philanthropists, inventors, world-class masterminds right here. We're going to get exclusive interviews, and they're going to shine a bright light on why do you need to know them? Who are they? And what are they doing next? It's real. It's brilliant. All in the world of doing good. Yes. Woo! You know what we say around here? We say, if you aren't the sun, maybe you're a star. Before we get started, I want to do a shout out to all those sponsors. Thank you so much for Celebrity Strands, for Sugar Nails, making the nails look nice and sugary. And I wanted to thank Launch TV and my Shine team. You're amazing. You can't really do anything without a team. So we'll be talking about that actually next episode, what it takes to have a team. So thank you guys. Let's do this. Woo! Okay, my first guest is my friend. He's just amazing. Claude McKnight, he's a singer, he's a writer, he's a musician. He's the lead singer of Take 6, 10 times Grammy winning group. They're gonna come up next, and I just can't wait to have them in the house. But before we get started, I wanted to talk to you about, there's one thing about me, and I'm the queen of energy. So if you're out there at work, at home, whatever, you're in the car, I don't care what you're doing, take a minute to breathe, look up for energy. I say, get that oxygen going, and let's go. Turn that music on, and let's go rewire your brain. Let's do it, just for a couple of seconds. Feel good, you know, like take time during the day to just give yourself a few minutes. It's like a big, 10-shot espresso. I just really want to spread energy, and I really want to make sure, as an athlete and a coach, I coach spinning for over 25 years in Los Angeles. I just want to make sure you know how to get your energy and how you manifest that. So try it every day when you're tired. That or some caffeine. Okay, so look, I want to talk to you about a serious situation. I want to take a sec before we bring our guests out to talk to you about mental wellness. We all had a devastating global pandemic this year, and it really shined a light on so many people globally that are dealing with mental illness and mental wellness. And it kind of hit home for me in my family. So what I did as a philanthropist, I teamed up with a lot of titans in the world, and I started a foundation called the Mental Health Resilience with Dr. Frank Lawless, world-renowned PNP Center in Texas. And we're out here with a platform, you guys. I'm telling you, this is so exciting, where we're going to have content for you to educate you through documentaries that are coming to us from the United States. True stories that you can really learn about how can you support those with mental wellness. So it's really dear to me, and I'm really excited. So go check out our website, mentalhealthresilience.org, and get really excited because here we come. Here we come. Woo! Yes. You've traveled the world. You've charted the billboards a million times. And you know, I think you went to Japan. And how are you received in Japan?
The really cool thing about the Japanese audience is they really, really know their music. They really do. And they have always loved Take Six's music. And they know jazz really well. And so a lot of the Western styles of music they're really into. And they do their research. So we're received very, very well there.
We're back, yes. Okay. From college gentlemen's quartet to signing a deal with Warner Alliance, my next guest is a 10-time Grammy Award-winning recording artist from Take Six. He's worked with Spike Lee, Whitney Houston, Al Jarreau, Quincy Jones, Sesame Street, Eric Clapton, and the list just goes on and on. My friend, my guest, Claude McKnight. Hello. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For being here. You look handsome as always.
Thank you. I dressed up for you.
Oh, thank you. I dressed up for you.
You look amazing.
Well, thank you. Well, you're part of a pretty phenomenal show here at Shine. We're interviewing just incredible people that are really making a difference.
So I made the cut.
And you made the cut.
All right.
And, you know, I wanted to tell you, I mean, you know, you've been working with everyone. I mean, you are a pro. And from Whitney Houston to Quincy Jones, Spike Lee, Sesame Street. I mean, everyone needs to know you. They need to know you.
Well, I've been doing this for, I guess, 35 years professionally. And interestingly enough, when we first came out, the group that I sing in Take Six, everybody pretty much did know who we were, you know, especially in the music business, because we got to work with everybody. As you said, we were blessed to do Sesame Street and the Grammys and all these other things. So it was really cool. So 35 years later, it's nice to still be relevant and, you know, to still have people wanting to know who we are.
Music is always relevant. I mean, if you think about The Voice, you know, everyone's re-singing all those songs. So, no, 100%. I mean, you've always reinvented yourself. And here you are with... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about how it all started. Go back.
Okay, so I was a freshman in college at a place called Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama. And that particular school has a really rich heritage of a cappella groups. And so I went there and I wanted to have my own group, so I found 3 other freshman guys, and we called ourselves the Gentlemen's Estates Quartet, because that was the name of the freshman housing. And so we had this group, and we were basically doing barbershop style doo-wop kind of stuff. And true story, we used to rehearse in a bathroom because, you know, even if you're not a good singer, you sound good in the bathroom. So we were in there one day, and this guy named Mark Kibble, who's in the group now, came in, added a 5th part to what we were doing, and started arranging for the group. And we were like, man, this is amazing, because at that time, we were able to expand the chords with 5 people. We added 1 more, and that was heaven for us, because we're basically a jazz, a cappella, gospel, R&B group. So, I mean, the rest is history.
Beautiful. I mean, you have a gorgeous voice. Can you give us a little bit of you? Come on, I know I'm putting you on the spot. Come on, let's go. It's Friday. Let's do it. Woo-hoo. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Like, what if you and I sang a song together? Like, what kind of summertime? Like, what do you?
See, you know, so one of my favorite singers of all time is James Ingram. You know, so I would probably do something like compliment what she does, send her roses just because 'Cause if it's violins she loves, let them play. Dedicate her favorite song and hold her closer all night long. But love her till day, find 100 ways.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
On the spot.
Put him on, he's gonna kill me later. Okay, I didn't get into this. So we actually are neighbors, okay? And we go way back. We live in a building. We won't say where it's at. They'll hunt us down. We had this wild thing happen, remember, with the drone? He texts me one day. He's like, "Are you home right now?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah, so here's the story, though. We live in this amazing building, and it has floor-to-ceiling windows. So our view is...
No walls.
Yeah, just this amazing view.
Up with the gods.
And I'm, at home one day, I'm looking at TV, and this drone is right outside my window.
Woo! Invasion.
And I'm like, and it's not just going by. It is literally just hovering right there, meaning it's looking in my windows. So I text Christina, I'm like, do you see this? Because I didn't know if, it was pretty weird.
Scary. That and Citizen app, right? Oh my God.
Yeah, I need to take that. I need to take that right off my phone.
But I've got you. Keep me safe, so I'm good.
There we go.
Okay, take me to some of your, because you're such a Renaissance man. You do so many things. Because we're gonna get into fitness in a minute, but you've traveled the world. Mm-hmm. You've charted the billboards a million times, and I think you went to Japan to do a tour, which I think they're going to show us in a minute, little Japan.
Yes, yeah. So we've been going to Japan every year since 1989, the group. And I had the amazing fortune of being able to do a solo tour there and take my daughters, Jessica and Issa, with me, and they sang background. So that was way cool. That was December of 2019, which was cool because obviously last year nobody was traveling. So I got to take them with me. It was their first time being out of the country, their first time singing with me, their first time singing background, their first time doing anything professionally. And so it was a really cool family experience.
Oh, and how are you received in Japan?
Well, the really cool thing about the Japanese audience is they really, really know their music. They really do. And they have always loved Take Six's music. And they know jazz really well. And so a lot of the Western styles of music they're really into, and they do their research. So we're received very, very well there.
I love that. I love that. So you're working on a solo project.
I'm always working on something. I've been working on a solo record for 50 years, probably.
Damn.
So I'm always writing something, always recording stuff, because I have a little recording studio right there in my place, and obviously the walls. I
know about that. I'm coming over.
Okay.
Coming over.
All right. I was gonna say the walls are thick enough because you must not hear me over there.
I hear you practicing.
Okay. So I do that. I also in the last year bought a ton of videography equipment. So I'm in there researching and filming and doing all kinds of stuff because prior to COVID-19, I owned one camera. And that was an old Sony that I had for like 10 years. And now I have 3 cameras and like 15 different lenses and all kinds of lighting equipment and stuff. And I'm learning how to use this stuff as I'm buying it. So
awesome.
Yeah, I better do something with it so I can get this money back.
Get that money back.
That's right.
Aren't you, now you have a lesson that you're starting online. Tell us about that.
In fact, one of the reasons why I started buying all this stuff is I have been a vocal coach for about 6 or 7 years now, and I primarily have had students online. So I teach them on Skype or FaceTime or whatever, and I've had students from all over the world, Moscow, Japan, China, and everywhere else, and I've had to do those things while being on tour. What I wanted to do, though, was to film all of these lessons and be able to give people the opportunity to take my lessons without having to do it one-on-one. So that's what I've been filming.
I like that. Now, do they pay for this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Getting your money back.
Yeah, subscription-based thing where each month, I'll give a little bit more and just continue to stockpile the filming and bring special guests on and all kinds of cool stuff.
I love that.
And it's called Building Blocks of the Song Stylist.
They'll be rolling that. Good. Follow him. Subscribe. What is like one, before we go to commercial break, what is like one great way that someone can practice with their tonality of their voice?
That's a great question. What a lot of people don't realize is the better in tune your ear is, the better your voice can be. Meaning, if you can hear it, your voice can do it.
Nice.
So what I would say is listen to as much music as possible and emulate, imitate, and try to be as vocally close to what it is you're listening to, so that when you do it by yourself, you already have got a foundation of what it's supposed to sound like.
Such great stuff. Genius of jazz, gospel, R&B. We're going to be right back to talk about your YouTube. Woo-hoo! Oh my God, welcome back to Shine. And we are sitting here with recording artist Claude McKnight, and we were just talking about before your podcast called Spread Love. Could you tell us about where we can find it, what's going on there? Make sure you watch.
Okay, so Spread Love was the very first single that Take Six did in 1988. And it's pretty much been our mantra from the very beginning. And it's just as it sounds, we spread love. So the podcast is literally us inviting other musicians and friends of ours on and talking to them, seeing what they've been doing, what's happening with them in and outside of music. And we've had a great time with it. You can find it everywhere that you check podcasts out. It's on Apple, it's on YouTube. We do it live on YouTube, and so it lives there. And it's been fun. We had Dave Kaz on just the other night. That was cool. We've had other really cool people on. So I want people to subscribe to our Take Six official YouTube channel. That's where you can find it.
I love it. You really took the pandemic, because we both went through it, and turned it around and got really creative, right?
You have to pivot.
You have to pivot. You have to pivot. So I like that. And especially right now, spread love, right? I mean, we got to just come together and be cohesive together and love each other. And what a year last year. If you would have told me that we're going to have a pandemic, I wouldn't have believed you.
Well, again, I mean, I've been doing music for 35 years professionally, and every year, on average, we've been on the road probably 120 days. So last year was what, maybe 3 days, you know?
How did you deal? How did you deal with like being home?
So I'm not gonna lie, that first month or so was really tough, because we had no clue what was going to happen, and we still don't really know. And not being at home at all, and suddenly being forced to be home. And then, you know, we had the lockdown and all of that stuff. It was really strange. You really get to know who you are. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, in trying to figure out, what do I do next?
Yeah, and all your track suits, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But that brings me to this, because you and I are kindred on the world of fitness. You're really a fitness man, and you talk about it a lot on your social media, and I always watch you and think, you know what, you got it going on. You are really doing it, and you got me to Glendale's track.
Yes.
You saved my life.
Oh, man.
As a fitness. I want you to know that I really appreciate that, because when you said, hey, you know, try the track over in Glendale, and, you know, you work out. So tell us a little bit, what keeps you, and I don't want to say, unless you don't care about the age issue.
Oh, no, it's cool. So my hashtag on all my social media is hashtag #FitAt58.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
50 is the new 30, right? So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't believe that you have to get old.
Thank you.
You know, I don't believe in that at all. And our bodies are meant to move. They're meant to be strong. And you need to figure out what works for you. And then just do the heck out of that.
You kick butt. I mean, you are like a kid. You know, huge on the cardio, running, playing basketball. I mean, you do it all.
I try. You know, I grew up being an athlete, and so basketball was always my sport because I was really skinny growing up. And then when I started filling out, I started lifting weights. And so I've been lifting weights now for about 30 years. And, you know, of course, when you start, you want to be big, you know, so I got really big. And then I was like, this doesn't feel good. So now I just lift weights to stay, you know, healthy and have lean muscle. So I go out to the track with you and, you know, with others, and I sprint, I jog, I do stuff like that. I do box jumps, I hike, I do the Santa Monica stairs. I still play basketball, so it's important.
So good. Okay, so on our show, every Friday we do It's Time to Hero Up. I ask all my guests, what would you do if you had a superpower, but you need a super wand?
Oh, look at this.
Take this, look in the camera, and give us out there, the viewers, a little advice.
Okay, all right, so I'm on the spot again. Let's see. Superpower. Wait a minute, I've got superpowers. I do. So what I would say is everybody can actually have this, and it's the power of communication. Because I think right now, communication is so very important for all of us. And with communication, it's not just about talking, it's about listening. Because people don't want to listen. You know, you don't have to agree with what anybody says, but to give them the opportunity to feel like they're respected in being able to speak their mind, I think is so important, instead of people barking at each other and talking over each other or speaking louder to get their point across. You know, I think there's a lack of respect, and communication is the key.
I love that superpower. I'll be using that tonight. I really appreciate you being here. I know you're busy, and I really thank you for being a part of this show. Keep shining a bright light in all you do and changing the world, and thank you. Thank you. Woo! Thank you very much. Next week, join us, and we will be on the field in Beverly Hills, California at Christoph Salon, who is the stylist to the stars, and you're going to meet the Immortal Beauty team. So until next time, shine on. Woo!